Can you escape suffering? The Buddhist answer to life. Imagine waking up every morning carrying a heavy feeling, whether it's worry, pain, or simply the sense that something is missing. Almost everyone has experienced the feeling that life holds more suffering than joy. But what if there were a way to escape this suffering? In this audiobook, we will explore one of the central teachings of Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths. These fundamental principles form the foundation of Buddhist philosophy and show us how to understand the nature of suffering, and ultimately, how to overcome it. The Four Noble Truths, Origin and Meaning. The Four Noble Truths form the core of Buddhist teachings and stem directly from Buddha's own realizations after attaining enlightenment, after Siddhartha Gautama, who later became known as Buddha, experienced profound encounters with suffering, impermanence, and the inevitability of death. He deeply contemplated the causes of suffering. Through years of meditation and profound insight, he discovered that suffering does not occur randomly, but arises from specific conditions. Buddha summarized these realizations in the Four Noble Truths to provide a clear path for people to overcome suffering. These truths are not just abstract concepts, but a practical guide that helps us understand and transform suffering in our own lives. Here are the Four Noble Truths. Suffering, Dukkha. Dukkha goes far beyond just physical pain. It is a deeply rooted sense of incompleteness and dissatisfaction that resonates through all aspects of life. Buddha realized that life is inherently impermanent and ever-changing. Everything we experience, whether joy or suffering, is in a constant state of flux. This impermanence leads to the realization that even the most beautiful moments are often accompanied by an underlying fear of loss. Dukkha does not only manifest as obvious suffering, such as pain or loss, but also as a subtle daily dissatisfaction. It appears in fleeting moments, the feeling that nothing lasts, the longing for something we can never truly attain, or the continuous attachment to desires that ultimately leave us disappointed. This suffering is an inevitable part of human existence, for as long as we cling to things that are transient, we will always feel a sense of lack. Acknowledging dukkha is the first step toward liberation. By understanding that suffering is a natural part of life, we can learn not to see it as a curse, but as an opportunity for transformation. This recognition opens the path to overcoming the causes of suffering, especially our constant craving and attachment. The cause of suffering, Samudaya. According to Buddha, the root of our suffering lies in our insatiable craving and deep attachment to what is impermanent, a concept he called Samudaya. This craving, also known as tanha, goes beyond the pursuit of material goods or sensual pleasures. It includes the endless longing for recognition, security, and lasting happiness. Since everything in life is constantly changing, these desires can never be fully satisfied, trapping us in an endless cycle of craving and disappointment. A simple example. Imagine you long for a new gadget that promises to improve your life. At first, it brings you joy, but once the excitement fades, you are left with a feeling of lack, believing that something is still missing. This constant pursuit of more leads to a never-ending cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. Our attachment to fleeting things repeatedly brings us suffering in the form of emotional pain, inner restlessness, or persistent dissatisfaction. By becoming aware of this cause and learning to let go of our cravings, we take the second step toward liberation. breaking free from the relentless cycle of suffering, the end of suffering, Nirodha. Buddha taught that suffering does not have to last forever. There is a way to break free from this endless cycle. The third noble truth, Nirodha, means cessation or extinguishing of suffering. It states that if we can release our insatiable cravings and attachments, we can permanently overcome suffering. However, letting go does not mean passivity. It is an active process that requires mindfulness and self-reflection. By living fully in the present moment and recognizing the impermanence of all things, we learn to accept the inevitable and find inner peace. Imagine holding on to a burning candle. As long as you refuse to let go, you will continue to get burned. But the moment you release it, the pain stops. The same applies to our cravings and attachments. They cause pain and dissatisfaction for as long as we cling to them. When we learn to let go of these desires, we open the path to inner freedom and reach a state of peace that Buddha called nirvana. Nirodha is not just a theoretical concept, it is an attainable goal, a state in which the fire of desire is extinguished and we live in deep serenity. By freeing ourselves from the chains of attachment, we can end suffering and experience true contentment and enlightenment. The path to liberation, Magga. After explaining suffering Dukkha, its cause Samudaya, and its cessation Nirodha, Buddha presented the fourth and final part of his teaching, Magga, the path to liberation. Magga is the practical path that guides us toward overcoming suffering and attaining inner peace. In Buddhism, this path to freedom is described through the Noble Eightfold Path, a set of principles that guide us in all aspects of life. This path is divided into three main categories: wisdom, prajna. This includes right view and right intention, encouraging us to see reality as it is and align our intentions with compassion and insight. Ethical conduct, sila. This includes right speech, right action, and right livelihood. It teaches us to act responsibly and ethically in our daily lives and relationships. Mental discipline, samadhi. This consists of right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, which help us train our mind, stay present, and develop inner focus and strength. The Noble Eightfold Path is not a rigid set of rules, but a flexible guide that helps us live consciously and mindfully. It teaches us that true liberation does not come from external circumstances, but from the transformation of our inner state. By following this path, we learn to direct our thoughts and actions in a way that gradually reduces suffering and brings us into harmony with ourselves and the world. How the Eightfold Path can help you will be explored in detail in the next audiobook. A link will be available at the end. Thus, Magga, the path to liberation, is the practical application of Buddha's profound insights. It offers us a way to break free from the cycle of suffering and live a fulfilled, conscious life characterized by inner peace and enlightenment. These four noble truths form the foundation of Buddhist philosophy, providing us with a clear path to understand and ultimately overcome suffering. They are the result of Buddha's intense search for truth and continue to offer answers to the deepest questions of our lives even today. The path to liberation begins with us. In summary, the Four Noble Truths reveal that suffering is an inevitable part of life, but they also show that there is a way out of this cycle, the path to liberation. By letting go of our attachments and following the teachings of Buddhism, we can find inner peace and live more consciously. Now I'd like to ask you, what does Buddhism mean to you? How do you interpret the Four Noble Truths in your own life? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. In our next video of this mini-series, we will dive deeper into the Eightfold Path and explore its practical application in daily life. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more inspirational audiobooks and to support us. Until next time, stay mindful and open to the path.